Today on the Extreme Channel, I need your help. That's right. I need you to tell me which one of these bitches I should sell and which one I should keep. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the Extreme Channel. My name's Mr. X. And as I said in the intro, I have to decide whether I want to keep this Venom life-size bust or the Sideshow one. So I figured what we'd do today is we'll actually do a review on this. I've owned this for a couple years, and since I'm in the transition of moving offices, I brought this guy home, and he rode in my passenger seat. Check this out. And I gotta tell you, I don't think I got any crazy looks. That's just the norm nowadays. So as I said, I've owned this guy for a couple years, way before Sideshow even revealed theirs, because Venom is one of my top 5 favorite characters. And I had him lined up with the Carnage bust I recently reviewed. You can check it out right here. And then also, I had the Queen Studios Iron Spider bust. All 3 of these were together, and I've reviewed that as well. You can check that out here. A little bit of background about this guy. They actually made 50 of these. As I said, it's a custom, which means it's an unlicensed private commission. And there's a few differences between the 50 they made. This was the first batch. The second batch was a little bit different, which we're going to talk about during paint. So I do plan to keep one of these Venom busts, because at my new office that I'm moving to, I'm going to have a wall of Venoms, about 20 Venom statues, and of course I have to have a life-size bust, whether it's this one or the other one. And at the end of the video, I'll show both of them together again after we've looked at this closely, doing an extreme review. But before we jump into the review, we're doing a few giveaways. First, sometime during this video, make sure you throw a comment below. By putting in a comment, you're entered into a monthly drawing to get Extrizes or extreme prizes. Second is, we're very close to another statue giveaway. On our road to 20,000 subs, we are giving out this Mortal Kombat statue at 12,500 subs. All you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, and you've hit that bell notification, and stay tuned for that giveaway. As always, we're going to start with concept, and it's always a little bit difficult with a bust to talk about concept because clearly they're not in a different pose. Clearly there's not a big storyline going on, but nonetheless, let's check this guy out. Like quite a few busts, he has a black museum-style base. This one also has a nameplate on it, just like the other one. And I don't like nameplates, but people seem to love to put them on busts for whatever reason. And as you move up, this is only half a bust, meaning the backside is kind of blank, which I think is a little bit of left opportunity. But as you move up Venom here, you obviously see his chest, and you see the huge spider logo, and this logo is protruded. I talk about this a lot with the Venom statues I've reviewed, is sometimes they're indented, sometimes they're protruded, sometimes they're flush with the skin. This one is protruded on top of the black symbiote suit. And as you move up, I love the portrait on this. I absolutely adore it. So this is a very creature-esque Venom. You've heard me talk, if you've seen my Venom reviews before, I talk about a Venom that looks more animal, more monstrous. That's exactly what this is, not only because of the shape of the elongated mouth, but the huge tongue swirling out and the teeth that are not only huge, but they're going everywhere. You move up farther, you see the traditional Venom eyes. You see some of the symbiote suit moving quite a bit, which during paint and sculpt, we'll look at the body. It's a very big differentiation on this piece than you typically see. But to me, if you're going to go with more of a humanoid Venom on a bust, it's going to be kind of stupid because it's kind of boring. So you definitely want to go completely creature-esque, completely all out, completely animal. And I think they did that on this. I think it's very well done. It really shows how nasty and disgusting Venom can be. The body isn't as full as I'd like it to be, which is more of a design thing we're going to talk about, but I do think that affects the concept a little bit. So overall concept on him, I think the concept's a 3 out of 5. It's very good, it's very average. That's kind of what the V stands for, very good, very average. But with Venom in a bust, it's hard to get a little bit creative. So with design, let's talk about some of those things that did affect the concept, starting with the fact that you're missing the entire back. Now, clearly, when you're viewing a statue, you're only viewing it from the front for the most part, unless it's a centerpiece, so this back really doesn't matter. However, I think that kind of takes it the extra mile when you fill in the entire back and show it as part of the creature, so I think that was a little bit of missed opportunity. However, I do understand this cuts down on cost and weight and a whole bunch of things of that nature. So let's get the dimensions really quick. So the diameter of the base is about 11 inches, 11 and a half. His widest part is probably his shoulders, which is about 20. And then he's a little over 22 and a half. almost 23 inches. Now also with this guy, there are two pieces to it. The tongue is actually a separate piece that removes, that does have a small keyhole. I don't want to do it on camera because I might knock one of the teeth off. And it can be displayed, as you saw him riding in my car, without the tongue, and it still looks kind of cool, but I definitely think the tongue, when we get to paint and sculpt, you're going to see that it's kind of a must-have with this piece. Also, we talked about nameplates with the Carnage. We always talk about them. This one is not removable, and I think that's a miss. I think you should be able to remove this. I mean, I'm sorry if you don't know this creature is Venom. You probably won't appreciate it anyway, so I wish they would have made the nameplate removable. Other than that, I remember the packaging was huge, and I have to track it down, but I don't know if I'll be able to repackage this well, so that also might affect my decision of which one I keep, and we're going to come back to that. But overall, again, I think the design is a 3 out of 5. It's very good, very nice. So let's jump into paint and sculpt with this piece, and what's kind of a coincidence is a lot of the stuff I said about the Carnage bust, which was from a different custom manufacturer, we're going to say about this Venom. So let's look at the base. I talked about it before. It's a standard black museum base, black paint, simple. I think the missed opportunity here is how the Carnage kind of, the symbiote was oozing over. They could have done that. Let's look at the Venom sign really quick. I like how they added purple into it. You definitely see some blues and purples in Venom. You don't see it on the actual body here, but you do see it on the Venom sign. The paint looks pretty clean too. A lot better than that Carnage, so I appreciate that. Now as you move up Venom, I want to look at a few things. First, I want to look at the white spider. Looks really good. I think they did a nice job with the clean paint. However, I did have a paint bubble. You can see it right here. So another disadvantage of selling it, it's probably an easy fix matching the same type of white. But you really don't see any blue tints in here, or hints of blue that you usually see with the spider. And you'll see the same thing in his eyes. Now the black here is very interesting to me because it's very more of a suit than a living creature or a symbiote, which you typically don't see on Venom. Usually on a Venom statue, whether it's a bust or a 1/4 scale, you see kind of the symbiote moving a little bit, where this just looks like a suit accentuating his muscles. So he definitely does have a muscular, tight chest. And you also don't see a lot of slime or clear resin type effect on the symbiote suit. So this really looks like an outfit he's wearing, not necessarily a creature that's alive. And you see that throughout the entire torso until you really get up to the neck area. Check this out. This is where it starts to get really good sculpt-wise. You still have some of the paint opportunities like the dull black tone. However, this sculpt, how those ridges in the neck looks really cool, really starts turning into that creature-esque Venom. It's almost like the torso is more of a humanoid, and then when you get up to the neck, it gets creature-esque. And then here at the top of the head, this is where you see the symbiote kind of moving. This is, I think, the action that was missing in the body. And I like this a lot. It's kind of a calculated mess of glob going everywhere. His eyes, a little too white for me. They should have added some blue shading in here, which you typically see in Venom, so I think that's a miss on the paint, but the size is about right. And the paint is decently clean between the black and the white, which I appreciate. But the real star of this show is the mouth. You have a bunch of stuff going on here. You have where kind of what I call the gums kind of breaking apart. It's this very dark red color. So there's no pinkish or anything like that, which I think is suitable to Venom. And I like how it flows into the red flows into the black. Looks good throughout all the gum line. And the teeth are a huge star of the show as well. Not only the size of them, but the coloring. It's more this brown color towards the base where he doesn't brush them well enough. He's really sharp, and you can actually poke yourself pretty well. I love how they're in different directions, they're different sizes, and there's different rows, and they're all over the place. Huge, huge pro, probably one of the best parts of this statue. But the tongue is done extremely well. It's this darker red color with some black shading, and all these different taste buds all over. It is very, very done. It's done very, very well. I like the shape of it, the curve. It's like he just licked somebody, which you do see Venom doing. Awesome, awesome job on the tongue. It's another huge plus. just like the Carnage, I think from the head up, the sculpt is great. It's very, very good. I'd give that a 4 out of 5, and I think I'll give the entire statue a 4 out of 5 with the sculpt, because while it's not bad below the neck, it's just not what I expected, especially with what you see above the neck. Paint, though, I think is lacking a lot. Now, I said earlier that there were a few batches. The second batches had a completely redone paint job, and I know that it was done much better. I don't have any pictures of it, but the commissioner did tell me that, and he reached out to that, so I think they fixed some of those problems. However, on my statue, I think the paint job's a 3 out of 5. It's very average, very good, kind of in the middle. I hate that I had that piece that bubbled, and that happened like on day 5, so that was like 2 years ago, but I really didn't bother too much with it. So overall, what's the X factor? Is this a 5 out of 5 statue? Of course it's not. I have trouble saying it's amazing, but I love it. I am a big fan of it. So I think, again, it's very average, very good, right in the middle, of 3 out of 5. Realistically, with Venom busts, you don't have a lot of options. There's 3 or 4 different ones from custom to licensed, which is why I'm having such a tough decision between this and this. It's a pretty tough decision, to be honest with you. I think the paint on Sideshow is superior, especially all the moist drooling effects they did. But I like the sculpt of this. I like the fact that it's not all this wasted space. Obviously, I have reviewed this. You can check it out right here. This one is more expensive. This one was about $1,100 all in shipped. This one I think was about $1,300 or so. And again, I may not be able to repack this, so I'd have to custom pack this and risk breakages. So please put in the comments below what I should sell. Should I sell Sideshow or should I sell the custom? Don't try any of that mind shit with me. If you really want to buy one, don't try and reverse psychologize my ass. But that's what we got for today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe by hitting that Mr. X logo. Check out some of these other custom piece reviews I have by hitting that playlist. Otherwise, I will talk to you tomorrow. Take care.